Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to race number 11 of the fourth season of the NR2003 Red Bull GT Series. And to wrap up the World Tour here at the Autodromo Nestor Nunez, just outside of the capital city of Buenos Aires, we're in St. Vincent, Argentina, for the 11th installment of this season's championship. Getting ready to wrap up, as I said, the World Tour before these drivers head to Mexico City in 2 weeks' time, which we will have a lot of racing coming your way soon and all that. So, yeah, should be interesting as far as that's concerned. 25 laps of racing. Maddie Crenshaw sits on the pole position. She comes in this race 24th in the points, gained 4 spots after last week's race at Rio de Janeiro. She is alongside of Kyle Langeland, who comes in this race second in the points. She's trying to run down Jochen Schmidt for the points lead in that regard. Courtney Lynn raced her way in ever since the European Tour. She's made every race so far, so that's a nice little job for Courtney Lynn. She currently comes in this race 45th in the standings and still has a long way to go. She has 74 points back of 35th in the standings, and she is alongside of Skylar Taylor, who dropped 2 spots down to 10th position in the points. Jochen Schmidt is the points leader by 25 points over Kyle Langeland. Jarrett Johnson is third in the standings, 33 back. 35 back is second of the Rookie of the Year standings, P Albanus, who is fourth. Sarah Redmond, third in the Rookie of the Year standings, is fifth. Bradley Reim dropped 2 spots down to sixth. Campbell Marsh jumped up 4 spots up to seventh. Banco Seaman dropped 2 spots down to eighth. He is fourth in the Rookie of the Year standings. Reggie Fogleman gained 4 spots up to ninth in the standings. And completing the top 10 is Skylar Taylor, I just mentioned, dropped 2 spots down to 10th in the standings. As you have seen the rest of your starting lineup, I'm going to make sure this is on none. We're going to get these cars moving. I said none. I guess the game doesn't want me to have it on none. Oh, hold on. Okay, looks like everybody is now rolling. Apparently, whoever it was that didn't get going. So there you go. As you see, this track is a TM Master Cup Series track. If you weren't with us this morning in Go or Go Home qualifying, trying to make sure nobody has got an issue. Looks like nobody's going to have an issue because that's good. This track is very similar to, like, let's say a Martinsville, but it's a flat version of Martinsville. We're going to do this for 25 laps. Of course, the AI can be a little aggressive here. We're also going to come up to the longest restart zone that we will go to on the calendar. As you'll see the green cones on the right side of your screen, right in this area. Right there, and also right down there. Right there. So there you go. Green flag's out. The first ever race in Argentina is underway. And Courtney Lynn's not wasting any time as Kyle Langeland's going to get around Maddie Crenshaw for second. You'll see it on the onboard where I was talking about. The green cones right here is the restart zone for anybody that doesn't know. This is the longest restart zone that we have on the circuit. Oh my God, somebody's had a massive accident. That's Jared Johnson and Sean R. Caution is out. And that was what I was talking about with this track. The AI can be really aggressive. But holy cat, was that a massive wreck. Jared Johnson and Sean R., 2 cars involved in this first incident of the day. And remember, Jared Johnson lost the points lead, so he's going to drop further down the standings. Caution's out for the first time today. Let's go back and see what happened to Jared Johnson and Sean R. here in the early stages at Argentina. I talked about, the AI be a lot aggressive. That's what I was talking about. Looks like, who was that? That was Addie Peterson, who didn't give Jared Johnson a lot of room. And he slid up into Sean R. and watch this hit right here. Bang! Into the wall. And upside down goes the 4. And I talked about this track, is really aggressive. The AI is super aggressive here and really important, you know, to not be aggressive. And I hate that for Sean, who, by the way, won last week at Rio de Janeiro. That was definitely not what he needed. Jumped up 9 spots to 16th in the points, but Jared Johnson, who just lost the points lead to Jochen Schmidt, he's going to continue to drop through the standings after his poor finish here today. As the caution's out for the first time today, let's get back to the restart here in Argentina. Well, Kyle Langeland has blown up on that number 22 machine, and that's a tough break as he was the race leader, was going to lead us back to green, but an engine or whatever the issue is has let go on his machine. So a tough break for Kyle Langeland. That will turn the race lead over to Courtney Liz. We're going to go back to green on lap number 8 of 25. Lynn will now be the leader. Crenshaw second. Maddie Crenshaw. Campbell Marsh will be third. Skylar Taylor fourth. Shyla Ascroft fifth. Zachary Fitzwater, Lane Aurora, Alexander Underwood, Kyler Anderson, and now Brooke Packett will move into the top 10 for this restart. Drivers out, as I mentioned, Sean Art and Jared Johnson, and you can now add Kyle Langeland to the list of the drivers out of this race. Remember, Kyle Langeland came in this race second in points. The guy he's trying to run down for the points lead, Jochen Schmidt, going to restart in 32nd. He came in this race as the points leader, so oh boy, Argentina could play its part in shaking up the points heading into next week's race, or our next race in 2 weeks. Don't know if you'll see the green cones. You'll see it. Well, you saw it a second ago. There it is right there and right down there. So there you go. Green flag's back in the air. We're back underway here at Argentina. And I think Kyle Langeland, I think he's out of the race. No, he's sitting on pit road. And we've had smoke on the front straightaway, but the yellow is not out. That must have been Addison Peterson, maybe Ponzo Albanus. And like I said, this track may or may not bring out a yellow because of how aggressive this track is. You know, you got to treat it like it's a Martinsville or the Milwaukee Mile is what you got to treat this track. By the way, special thank you to Sign On for this amazing track. And as I said, I will give him credit and put the link in the description like I did for Wales, Argentina, all that. Of course, the green cones represents the restart zone. When you go on board, I'll show you where the restart zone is. Just look to the right. Look for the green cone. Right there and right there. You can definitely see it during the daytime, but in cloudy conditions, it's very difficult to see as Henrietta Fitzwater is back here at the rear of the field. Logan Williams having a not so good run. There's Jochen Schmidt, who's running in 28th. As I said, comes in this race the points leader. The only person that would run him down for the points lead, well, or may not run him down for the points lead, would be Sarah Redmond. But a lot of drivers who came in running well in points are really going to take some hits in the standings. So it looks like Argentina is going to play its part in shaking up the points, and it looks like it was a piston that let go on Kyle Langeland's machine. That's a tough break for Kyle Langeland as he joins, as I said, Sean Art and Jared Johnson back behind the wall. And if you guys are not aware, Jared Johnson is currently on probation for the remainder of season 4. As long as he doesn't do anything that becomes an issue between now and then in regards to a real NASCAR race as I'm recording this, then we should be okay. Courtney Lynn still looking for her first top 5 of the year. Of course, she is so far, she's like 74 points outside of 35th in the standings, as Addison Peterson and Ponzo Albanus. I wonder if those two had something to do with the incident. We're going to look at that after the race is done. If we don't get a caution between now and the checker flag, we will look back at a replay to find out what happened and why it didn't bring out the yellow. Excuse me. There's Alexander Underwood in the 60. Alexander Underwood dropped 8 spots down to 18th in the points. As Alexander Underwood just got around Courtney Lynn, so that's our third different leader today. Because remember, K Langeland got around Matty Crenshaw. He led the first bit of this race. Courtney Lynn led some, and now Alexander Underwood becoming our third different leader in this race. Down to 4 laps to go. Let me see where Addison Peterson came into this race. Addie was 27th in the points. This is going to put her closer to that 35th in the standings cut line as far as trying to stay locked in the show. But we got another road course coming up. That will be in 2 weeks when we head to head to Mexico. Excuse me. Of course, that is the track where we had the Oreo Cup Series second race of the first round. Their first elimination race is on Wednesday. Of course, we have the M&M's Cup race before that. Don't know what track they're at, but we'll be up to speed as far as that series is concerned. As John Smith is looking underneath Campbell Marsh, he will get that 6th position. Oh, yeah, he's going to take 6. Shyla's having a good run. And we're coming to the white flag, so it looks like we will look back at a replay before the official finisher results on what happened to Addie Peterson and Ponzo Albanus. As the white flag is out for Alexander Underwood in the first ever race in Argentina. Yes, the first ever race in Argentina. Write a new chapter in the book. Another driver part of Bradley Reim's team continuing on a hot streak. As Alexander Underwood rounds out the final corner, he's going to win the inaugural race in Argentina. Well done to Alexander Underwood. That was an incredible job for Alexander. And he is going to go to victory lane as we speak. Before we show you your official finish results, we need to jump back a little replay to see what happened to Addison Peterson and Ponzo Albanus, why it did not bring out a caution. Boy, I do not want to be a part of the DVR committee meeting after this. This was after the restart, and boy, it looked like Ponzo broke so early, and it just caught Addie Peterson off guard. And Addie Peterson slid off the track. Ponzo goes into the grass. I think Peterson's going to go into the wall. I think this is a single file restart, and Peterson didn't expect Albanus to check up so far, and unfortunately, it's going to hurt both of them, even though they're at the rear of the field. But they lost a lot of time, never got a caution to recover, and they're going to end up with pretty poor finishes as a result of this. So that is exactly what did not bring out the caution here at Argentina. Let's take you to your official finish results. And welcome back here to Argentina's. We're going to wrap it up. Alexander Underwood gets the win. That's a wonderful win and a bounce back result. As I said, he dropped 8 spots down to 18th in the points, so he will be back up inside the top 10, more than likely leaving today. Courtney Lynn, ever since we got to do the doubles in Europe, has made every race since. Gets a second place result, so a wonderful run for her. Lane Aurora will get third, 45th in the points for Courtney Lynn, and with the number of drivers ahead of her who failed to qualify, this is going to get her further and further up to try to get to that 35th in the position in the standings cut line, I should say. 35th in the points cut line, I should say. Elena Aurora got third. Elena was 25th in the points, gained 5 spots after last week's race at Rio. So good run for her. Maddie Crenshaw came home in fourth, 24th in the points. Our pole sitter had a quiet day. She will move her way through the points table inside the top 20 in points. Shyla Asgrove, well-needed run for a driver who was getting closer to that 35th in the points cut line, comes home in 5th, and she nabs the Rookie of the Race honors. Good for her. That's really going to get her away from 35th in the standings with that result right there. John Smith IV will get 6th. John Smith IV came into this race 30th in the points. That's another driver who needed a good run. And same with Josh Harmon, who finishes in 7th. He dropped 10 spots down to 28th in the points. This will get him up in the standings. Campbell Marsh will get 8th. Campbell came into this race, the 64 that is. He was, if I can find him in the standings here, Campbell Marsh was 7th in points, so he's going to gain some points on the 77 for the points lead as far as that is concerned. And he'll stay in the top 10 of the points. Zachary Fitzwater gets 9th. We're going to see where 9th is going to be. He came in this race a total of 48 points back of 35th in the standings. Was 9th good enough? I don't think 9th is going to be good enough to get him back in the top 35, but we'll have to see how that goes. And a quiet run for Kasumi Takashi, who stayed out of trouble and had a very nice run. Dropped a spot to 17th in the standings, so she will be moving her way back up through the points table. Good run for the Japanese driver. Brooke Packett, had been a difficult season for her. Gets 11th. Fanko Seaman, nice redeeming race for him in 12th. Skylar Taylor, J Ard, and Jonathan Wong will complete your top 15. Top 20 was Trinity Lee, Reagan Whitlock, Cody Goforth, Bradley Reim, and Sebastian Palmer. As I don't know what the heck that noise was I'm hearing outside my box. You look on down to the remainder of the finishing results. This is where things get really ugly as far as not just who's going to be the points leader, but also who's going to be still in the top 35, who's still going to be in the top 10 of the standings. Jochen Schmidt came this race 34th, was your points leader coming in this race. K Langeland, who fell out of the race due to a mechanical failure, he finishes in 40th, came in this race 2nd in points. I also didn't realize Kyler Anderson finished out of the race. He dropped 3 spots down to 15th in the points. A gearbox let go on his machine. That's a tough break for the defending series champion. But remember, Kyler Anderson has the champion's provisional if needed, as far as that is concerned. But since he is so far up ahead of 35th in the standings, it's going to be impossible. Addie Peterson may have to use that champion's provisional to keep her out of having to be in go or go home qualifying with a 38. She was the last girl to finish the race on the lead lap, as we had 38 drivers that finished the race and 4 drivers that didn't mention. We mentioned Kyler Anderson, K Langeland with the mechanical problems, Sean Art and Jared Johnson, who were checked and released from the medical center. They were out of the race due to our only caution in turn number 2. So that is a tough break for Sean, 1 week removed from his first win on the season. And Jared Johnson, who came this race 3rd in points, this was definitely not the finish he was hoping for, and he's going to need to turn it around heading into our next race. That will be in 2 weeks. from Mexico City. But on Wednesday, it's going to be a different story, with Bradley Reim, Skylar Taylor, as far as that is concerned, because it's an elimination race for the Oreo Cup Series at Indianapolis. And we'll have 4 drivers getting eliminated from the race, or from the championship, rather, as we go from 16 to 12, that you will see on Wednesday. But back to today, Alexander Underwood with his first win of season 4. Congratulations to him. Hope you guys enjoyed this awesome race here in Argentina. I hope to bring this back for season 5, if we do have a season 5, but still, everything's still in the works as far as that is concerned. But if you enjoyed this race from Argentina, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV, for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitting or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association, the Blue Hedgehog TV, is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV, want to thank you fans for your support of this broadcast here in Argentina. We hope you enjoyed today's race as well. We've already shown you your full finish results. Your point standings has taken a dramatic shaking up heading into our next race in 2 weeks at the track that the Oreo Cup Series just went to last week. That was Mexico City. As I said, we're going to have the M&M's Cup Series race before our elimination race for the Oreo Cup Series. Don't know where we're going as of this recording, but whatever track the M&M's Cup Series will be at, hope you'll tune in for that. We have our elimination race on Wednesday for the Oreo Cup Series, as we will have 4 drivers getting eliminated from the championship hunt as far as that series is concerned. And let me see. And then we have, or actually, no, we just had our elimination race. I'm sorry. It's the first race of the round of 12, excuse me, as we're at Kansas. And then we have Busch and Winston Cup from Daytona International Speedway. I also want to thank everybody for the birthday wishes as well, because this race will also be counted as the birthday bash. So, yes, I want to thank you guys for making this 31st birthday a wonderful success. So, glad to celebrate a birthday in Argentina, if you ask me. But until then, I've been Dave signing off. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks at Mexico City, as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013. So long from Buenos Aires, Argentina.